The fantasy player who can look ahead like Magic Johnson on a fast break, to see Michael Cooper out the corner of their eye, to catch him with the no-look pass, whoop, whoop, ta-tow. That's the player who wins. Here are the top 5 waiver wire targets you need to pay attention to for week 6 of the NBA season. Bogdan Bogdanovic. Man, Bogdan averaged 24.3 minutes over the last 7 days, 8.3 points, 3 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 0.7 steals. He is just rostered in 49.3% of ESPN leagues. So we talked about opportunities based on Jaylen Johnson's injury, right? So again, one thing you know about me, like I never want people to get injured. I'm never rooting for people when they get injured. I'm never or rooting for a player to get injured, I should say. It's just not my thing. And I've seen some analysts in fantasy football specifically do that. That is not what we do at this channel, right? We don't do that kind of stuff. But if a player goes down, we have to start looking at the fantasy landscape to make sure that we could take advantage of it, right? So with Jaylen Johnson out, Bogdan Bogdanovic is primed to get some extra run, and you'll see an increase in his production. So if he's available, this is someone you want to sit on, because with Jaylen Johnson being out for up to 6 weeks, this might be something that materializes over the next couple of weeks. So be patient if you can. If you're in a position where you're winning, he could be somebody that gives you value for the next few weeks. So I would go ahead and add Bogdan Bogdanovic. Next up, Jaylen Ivy. Over the last 7 days, Jaylen Ivy is averaging 30 minutes per game, 17 points per game, y'all, 3 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 0.7 steals. And on the season, he's averaging 12.5 points. So that's a big jump. In the last 7 days, 17 points. For the season, 12.5. So I had the opportunity to check out a Jaylen Ivy game recently, right? Jaylen Ivy, not in person, sorry. I was covering a Jaylen Ivy game, right? So I was covering his game and I was watching him. And you know, my lens is like looking for Cade. I want to see what Cade's going to do. I want to see if we can salvage this season for fantasy, right? Cade had a pretty good game, but this was against the Indiana Pacers, right? The game where Halliburton crossed Asar Thompson and had him slide into the front row was bad. But for Jaylen Ivy, man, he's aggressive. He passes the eye test. And I didn't really get to see much of him, in the last couple seasons. But this year, I really had a chance to really put him under the microscope and see what was happening. And it seems like he has a lot of potential. So I don't know if he will be a long-term hold, but I definitely think he's somebody, if he's available, you might want to fire him up to see if he can bring you back some value. Next up, Alex Caruso. Oh, baby. Man, I love Alex Caruso. I just love basketball players who ain't afraid to play some defense, y'all. Playing defense is my jam, right? It's my basketball love language, man. And people out here who don't play defense, the first thing I say to myself is where they do that at? Y'all don't play defense? Come on, man. So Alex Caruso is over the last 7 days has averaged 10.7 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 0.7 steals, 0.3 blocks, only rostered in 17.2% of ESPN leagues. So first things first, I'll say that's not sexy, right? That is not a sexy stat line by any stretch of the imagination. But word on the street is Alex Caruso just moved into the starting lineup. So that could all change. So this is something that you want to do an ad and then pay attention. Add him and then do the math. See if he has any kind of, increase in usage, increase in minutes, increase in production over the next few games, because Alex Caruso, if he gets the opportunity, has proven time and time again that he can be a solid fantasy producer. He's just kind of been a fringe waiver wire guy this season, but I believe he could take it beyond that if he really gets the opportunity. Next up, Isaiah Joe. Now, man. But OKC, man, like, listen, I'm not on this channel. I don't even want to say Josh Giddey's name right now because I don't want my channel flagged. Like, people out here in these streets are petrified because of covering this story. So we won't go into detail on that side of it. We're going to talk fantasy, right? So one thing about my philosophy around fantasy basketball and just fantasy sports in general. I play fantasy football as well. I don't do much fantasy baseball or fantasy hockey, but if you got a league and you want to invite me, let me know. I'd be open to trying those sports as well. This is my philosophy, that the fantasy player who can look ahead like Magic Johnson on a fast break to see Michael Cooper out the corner of their eye, to catch him with the no-look pass, whoop, whoop, ta-tow. That's the player who wins. And sometimes it involves a risk. Sometimes it involves a gamble. Sometimes you got to put your money on the table and you just got to roll your dice. And Isaiah Joe is that type of play. If, in fact, some negative repercussions materialize due to the unfortunate, allegations against Mr. Giddey, this could be a lot of run for Isaiah Joe. So for me, he might have some short-term standalone value as like a streaming option, like stream and drop type of guy, add, drop. But if, in fact, something goes down where your man is compromised, this could be a huge opportunity for the people who grab Isaiah Joe. From the LA Clippers, Norman Powell. I'll raise my hand and say, when Harden got traded to the Clippers, I was like, yo, you got to watch out because Norman Powell about to lose some value. Yeah, you better drop him. Yeah, you better watch out. I was that guy. I wasn't saying drop him. I'm exaggerating a bit. But I did say he would take a hit. I did believe he would lose some value. But since Russell Westbrook has volunteered to go to the bench, your man Norman Powell, when he comes in the game now, he is storming Norman. Like, he is putting up wild production. Over the last 7 days, he's averaging 24.3 minutes per game, 14.8 points, 2.5 rebounds, 0.3 assists, and 1.3 steals. Yes. Just to check out some of his last few games, on the 25th of November, he did 15, 3-1. On the 24th, he did 21 and 3. Man, he's been having some decent games. So the thing about the Clippers have so much potential. This is a team that was billed to be a championship contender a couple of years ago, and they just haven't been able to get healthy. For the first time in a long time, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, everyone else on the squad, Harden now, everyone is healthy. So now the only thing that they are lacking is chemistry. They need to build the chemistry. And it seems as if Tyronn Lue has found a place for Norman Powell on this team, a place that would lead to him getting minutes, but most importantly for us as fantasy managers, getting opportunity to put up those points.